Carlos, can you tell me why choosing Cork is a sustainable choice?
There are many, many right boxes in terms of sustainability that Cork ticks. But we have not yet talked about CO2 retention, and this is incredibly important. Although it must be noticed that even if we could, for some miracle, fix the CO2 problem today, tomorrow we would still have a sustainability problem around the world. So it's very, very important we don't forget the rest, the economic, the social, and the environmental issues that we were discussing. But when it comes to CO2 retention, an issue that literally and figuratively has captured everybody's imagination, and something that we definitely need to do something about. When you look at CO2, and when you look at the pressure that wineries around the world are under to diminish their environmental footprint, you realize that they're spending sometimes a lot of money putting solar panels and biodiesel or electrical tractors even. This is great. But one single natural whole cork stopper retains as much as 309 grams of CO2 combined. The balance is enormous. And imagine just, not even a big winery. A small winery over the last 5 years has bought millions and millions of corks. If you multiply whatever number you can think of 1 million or 10 million, by 300 grams of CO2, you have a massive CO2 capability. And these are good news for us, absolutely. But these good news are not fully realized until what we are able and willing as we are to share those with the clients. Again, the people that make this unique story possible. It's the wineries that make that possible. It's the consumers that makes that possible. The people selling the wine, making the wine, drinking the wine, writing about the wine. It's a whole trade that has some very good news on their side.
Can you tell me about your recycling program?
If a natural whole cork stopper is the worst thing that arrives at the landfill, my God, this would be a way better world than it is. So that's, even if that happens, it's a pity because you can do a lot more with those corks, but it's not by any stretch of imagination a major problem. But we want to recycle corks. We want to recycle more corks. We have in the last several years recycled almost 500 million corks, so almost 500 million. And if that sounds like a big number, well, it is a big number, but in the big scheme of things, it's not that much. Just to give you an idea of the 19.5 billion bottles that were filled and stopped around the world every year, Cork has about 12 billion of those. And Amorim, by the way, makes around 4.5 billion of those corks. So 500 million, it's still a drop in the ocean, but it is a good start. But we have ongoing cork recycling programs in the United States, in France, in Portugal, of course, South Africa, Italy. So it's growing. We need to do a lot more than what we're doing. Hopefully soon in the UK we'll have a good partner to do this. In addition to Laithwaite, to Direct Wines that already been recycling corks for a long, long time. But what we do with them can range from footwear to aerospace material to flooring. It's quite remarkable what you can do with cork, even with recycled cork. The only thing we cannot do with the recycled cork is another wine stopper.
And what are the options for producers who don't know that you actually have a recycling program?
If you recycle those corks from your cellar door, from your lab, from your own consumption, send it to us. Put them in an envelope, mail it to us, mail it to Amorim. We'll take care of that. We will get those corks inserted into the production process of some of the products that we discussed. But of course, we want to do much more than that. So a lot of times, it just takes one person to start something great and start something big. History, fortunately, is full of those examples, those inspirational examples. So if you are in a region or in a country where that cork recycling program still does not exist, not yet, hey, why not reaching out to us and we'll get the ball rolling.
Since cork has the ability to sequestrate carbon, would you say that as a result, your business is carbon neutral or carbon negative?
Well, we have an emission of roughly 274,000 tons of CO2 equivalent. But what we retain, the balance turns out to be 4.6 million tons. So the balance is incredibly beneficial to the environment. just from our activity. And it's not just us, there are many other cork producers, obviously. So the impact, again, from 274,000 emission to 4.6 million in terms of retention that the cork forest and the cork products provide, I mean, that's quite a remarkable number. And a big part of it is also made possible because up to 63% of our energy needs comes from renewable sources. A lot of these actually cork dust, cork that it's a byproduct of the production process. So we capture that and we manage to get zero emission energy. And the better part of it, the more corks we produce, the more of that dust we generate, the more of this 63% number goes up, and we very soon want to go up to 65%. So that's quite a remarkable number. When you bring everything together, the impact is clear. And what we want, again, is to share that with the wineries, with our customers. We have dozens of thousands of customers around the world in basically every wine producing country. We have a subsidiary there, and we want to make sure that this is shared with the wine industry. It's not for us. We don't need that for the reasons that we just discussed, but we want to share these millions and millions and millions of tons of CO2 upon which we are, sit upon, and we need to bring them into the accounting of everything that is going on in the wine trade. Because again, without the wine trade, this remarkable and unique sustainability story would not exist. And once again, it's not just the CO2, it's the people, it's the planet, it's the profits, it's everything.